let's talk UFC 264 pay-per-view buys, excuse me. Let's get to it. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Check out the MMA playlist. Appreciate everybody for being here with us this afternoon. No, I won't be doing the live today. Thought about it. Unless something catastrophic happens, okay? But let's talk about it. It says, report UFC 264 draws 1.8 million buys, on course for second highest selling card in UFC history. Dustin Poirier and Conor Mcgregor trilogy fight at UFC 264 was an overwhelming success on pay-per-view, and this is why Dana White is willing to do it again. Here we go, going through the same thing. And people in the box community say pay-per-view is dead, but the UFC still doing numbers. They still making the trap say, all right. As expected, UFC 264 turned out to be a huge success on pay-per-view, with events selling 1.8 million buys. John Alran of the Sports Business Journal reports that 1.3 of the buys were sold in the United States on ESPN Plus, with an additional 500 racks, 500,000 people understand the lingo, sold internationally. The preliminary fights also was watched by 1.6 million viewers, making ESPN's most viewed program on Saturday. It means that UFC 264 fell considerably short of breaking the UFC record-breaking 2.4 million buys that McGregor fight did with Khabib, sold at UFC 229 at October 2018. Now, that was the best combat event, at least in the last 2 years. It might have been the best combat event as far as action and everything since the turn of the century, since the turn of 2000. It might have been. And you had, wasn't no pity pat. You had Khabib beating on Conor McGregor. Had to build up. McGregor throwing the dolly on the bus. Him, Khabib jumping out the cage and putting the smack of down on McGregor's team, Rudy Poo. All right. And then he spit on McGregor. I mean, it was just great all the way around. And that kind of revived the UFC because they had lost their way without Ronda. John was gone. McGregor was making racks on racks on racks and making millions and millions and $100 million plus for Floyd. So people thought the UFC was on the brink of death. And, at one point I was that person that didn't embrace the UFC like I should have. I think one of the first fights I seen, I legitimately sat down and watched with interest, especially pay-per-view, was one of the fights. I think the first fight with DC and John Jones. So, you got to, boxing people and, other combat sports lovers, you got to get out of being in the box. You got to try new things. And we most of us grew up on wrestling, even if it was more sports entertainment. Some of us did wrestling in high school. Some of us did karate. Some of us now or have done in the past jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So, so it's pretty, to be honest, it's pretty great. You can learn some stuff. And I think, it's getting a lot of people into jiu-jitsu. It's getting a lot of people back into, regular karate, which, for the most part, they say don't work in MMA. And that's another concern. Or that's another story for another day. So, it's been refreshing. Okay, let's finish. UFC President Dana White teased that 264 was trending to be one of the biggest pay-per-view events of all time, with the card doing the most pre-buys of any other event in history. The success of UFC 264 is yet another example of Conor McGregor's star power for the promotion. Notorious headlining all 5 of the highest selling pay-per-view cards in UFC history. McGregor was also involved in the second highest pay-per-view in boxing history with the 2017 fight against Floyd with 4.3 million buys. So McGregor talked. McGregor opened up that mouthpiece, and then McGregor was smart. Whenever you find solace, you find peace with your career, I would get the fuck out of the game. I'm like, you know what? I had this person run McGregor Promotions, and we gonna promote athletes. Not to limit us to UFC or to Bellator, but boxing, football players. We're gonna sit here and put a marketing a scheme or marketing plan around you and show you the blueprint of making money outside the sport. You don't have to be boastful. You don't have to be ignorant. You don't have to be white. You don't have to be black. You can be whatever. And we're going to sit here and hire people around the country, from different, markets, from Japan to China to Mongolia to the United States. To Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, to the United Kingdom. And we're going to hire people and see what makes people tick. He can make millions and millions and $100 billion in a promotional for him thing, but you imagine he can make trillions. after a while in marketing fighters because he got the blueprint. Sorry for the chihuahua. You don't hear the big dog bark unless it's serious or he feels. But he could bring Deion Sanders in as an advisor. He was one of the first to kind of bring that wrestling blueprint over to the American sports. So I mean, I think he can make a lot of money outside of UFC. I think he can make more money outside the UFC. I got 2 strings for this. I don't know. Great investment. I think his destiny is more than 1.8 in top 5 pay-per-views and top 2 pay-per-view in boxing history. I think it's deeper than that. And then he got the whiskey. He's still fighting. I would be like, you know what? Like De La Hoya, fuck throwing punches. Let's go out there and throwing kicks and wrestling. Let's go out there and market and promote. And I think he gonna make a lot of money doing marketing and promotions. I think he can make a lot of money doing that. He has the key. He has the gift of gab. But you can write scripts, but also you can lay out marketing plans. You can work with Coca-Cola. You can work with a company, boxing glove company. You can work with all these. He can make a lot of money marketing. People gonna love him, win, lose, or draw. People that hate him gonna hate him. But that's an excellent number to do. And they said that you couldn't sell pay-per-views during the pandemic, and they're sure proving them wrong. And then their prelims did 1.6 million on regular ESPN. And boxing and Top Rank is struggling to crack 1 million with undisputed fights. How is Dana White finding a budget to market, but Bob Arum isn't? How? So that's got the actual question. Dana White did a better job with Fox than Al Heyman doing with Premier Boxing Champions. Because it's a dictatorship. In this situation, a dictatorship is better. And boxing got too wild. Al Heyman raised the price up. Then Eddie Hearn raised the price up. So, they doing more pay-per-views, than people doing, domestically on regular TV. And they selling them boys for what, $100 a pop or $85, $95, whatever it is. You ain't got ESPN Plus, and $75 if you got ESPN Plus. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But shout out to him and Poirier for doing excellent numbers. Don't forget you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We also got a Facebook group. All those links in the description. If you have business question, inquiry, response, your video quest, links there. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Donate to the channel financially. Cash App CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link there as well too. Best way to donate. Share the video. Appreciate the love and support. One time for the one time. Goodfellas Sports TV. Peace.